Like when David was facing a battle.
First of all, that their
destiny. They need someone.
Character is trustworthy. I can move on a maybe. Father, I don't want to do this, but nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. So I'm going to go see about this. And maybe, somebody shout, maybe.
Hebrews 11:6. And without faith, it is impossible to please God. For whoever comes to him must believe that he is, and that he is the rewarder of those who diligently seek him. God wants us to believe. To believe, first of all, that he is, that he exists, and he wants us to believe that he's good. Believe that God exists and believe that he's good. That's the beginning. You know, so often we wonder, what does God want from us? Sometimes I say, I think there's a little demon that is sent to sit on our shoulder every day and just whisper in our ear all day long, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, everybody seems to want to know what we're going to do. And some of the disciples went to Jesus and asked, this is recorded in John 6:28, 27, 28, 29, what must we do to please God? What must we do to be doing the works that God wants us to do? And the answer came back, this is the work that God requires of you, that you believe in the one whom he has sent. Can you imagine that? What does God want me to do? He wants me to believe. Well, yeah, I know that, but what does he want me to do? Well, yes, there are things that God will give us to do, but faith always has to come first. First, you have faith, and that faith enables you to take bold steps to do whatever it is you believe that God has asked you to do. I'm always amazed when I think about when Joshua was going to take the children of Israel into the promised land. He had to cross the Jordan. Well, it was too deep for them to cross, and so God told them to go forward. Well, you got this whole Jordan River in front of you. But the thing I find so interesting is the water didn't part until he put his foot in it. You've heard people say, well, I put my foot in it now. And what they mean by that is, okay, I'm out into this. Now, if God doesn't help me, I'm going to surely fail.
The first person Jesus ever told he was the Messiah wasn't the religious leaders, wasn't the chief priest. When Jesus wanted to announce one of the most important things he would ever say, he announced it to this woman. Society said, forget about her. She's done. She doesn't make good decisions. God said, no, I'm not only going to wait on her, I'm going to honor her by telling her who I am. I think about how many times God has waited on us. He waited when we were off course. He waited when we wouldn't forgive. He waited when we were addicted, when we were compromising, when we had a bad attitude. He could have said, that's it, I'm done with you, but he waited. He showed us mercy. He picked us up when we fell. He kept the addiction from taking our life. He protected us when we chose the wrong friends. He kept that accident from taking us out. He waited when we didn't believe. He waited when we ignored him. He waited when we were bitter. Sometimes it's good to look back and say, Lord, thank you for waiting on me. Lord, thank you for giving me another chance. Thank you for cleaning up the mess I made. Thank you for covering me when I didn't deserve it. God has waited on all of us. Now he's asking, will you wait on someone for me? Will you wait on that friend that's not making good decisions? Will you call them, encourage them, let them know that you care? Will you wait on that neighbor that doesn't believe in me, that makes fun of your faith? Will you stand in the gap, keep letting your light shine? Or will you wait for that family member that's been off course for years, struggling with issues? Seems like the more you pray, the worse they get. You're ready to give up. God is saying, wait on them. Keep praying, keep loving, keep encouraging. My mother prayed for a man named Bill Nash for many years. Bill was a country western singer. He grew up in church. His parents were missionaries to Mexico. He had a strong foundation of faith. But in his teens, he got off course, started running with the wrong crowd. He ended up struggling with drugs and alcohol. Instead of singing in church, he was singing in bars and clubs. Deep down, he was unhappy. He knew he was running from God, but he couldn't get out on his own.
Maybe. I've got a maybe faith. Enough faith to do it and not know the conclusion, but trust God in the process. It's a maybe faith. I'm confident. I'm not certain, but I'm confident. And you will find yourself many times in your life in a maybe moment. Some of you are there right now. It's a maybe moment for you. Maybe you are giving yourself to a marriage that you don't know if it can live, like Ezekiel in the valley of bones. You don't even know if anything's going to happen, but you're prophesying and speaking forth and believing God to send the winds, and you're living in the maybe moment. Maybe if we start a church. Maybe I know who God is. And I know nothing can stop him, but it's 50-50, man. You want to do it anyway? Maybe. The miracle is in the maybe. I wish I could preach this to every discouraged heart today. God lives in a place called maybe. Faith lives in a place called maybe. So if you are in a maybe moment today,